Are Hyundai and Kia still having engine problems? And will tariffs cause car prices to go up? All that and more on today's Q&A. My name is Shari, and today I'm going to be answering your car questions from the comments section. And if you want to have your car question answered in a future Q&A video, just leave your question down below and I'll try to answer it next time. So let's get right into it, starting with the first question. In the United States, Hyundai and Kia have been doing very well in terms of sales. They have raised their new car prices quite a bit. Does this mean that they've now turned a corner on producing good, reliable engines, or are they still problematic as before? I'm thinking of buying a Venue or Soul. Which has the more reliable engine? Okay, excellent question. Now, as many of you know from watching this channel, I've made many videos covering this topic. Unfortunately, both Hyundai and Kia have had a massive problem with engine failures over the years, dating back to 2012 all the way up to 2023. The 2-liter and 2.4-liter engines that have been used on a number of different vehicles have problems with oil consumption, engines completely seizing and failing. They've had to recall several millions of vehicles over the years, thousands of engine replacements. It's just a total disaster. And they are definitely at the very top of the industry when it comes to having engine failures for this reason. Now, has the company turned a corner? Well, unfortunately, as of February, Kia just announced a brand new recall on the 2021 to 2023 model Kia Soul and Kia Seltos, which are still having engine failure. So clearly it's still a problem. However, these vehicles do use the older engines, which were problematic from the last decade. The companies have introduced a brand new engine family on the newer vehicles, which are called the Smart Stream engines. There's a 2.5-liter Smart Stream, and I believe there's also now a 2-liter Smart Stream engines. And so far, these newer engines have been better. I haven't been hearing of engine failures with the newer Smart Stream engines. Does this mean I would recommend buying one, however? I would still say not yet, wait and see, because when a company has been having engine problems for so many years, I mean, we're talking over a decade here, and millions of vehicles, it takes a long time to regain that trust. So I would take a wait and see approach on the new engines until we know for sure whether the problems have been solved. In the meantime, if you're deciding between a Soul or a Venue, definitely the Hyundai Venue is a better choice because it has a smaller 1.6-liter engine, which doesn't seem to have the same kind of problems. So that would be my pick between the two if you really want to buy a Hyundai or a Kia. So hopefully that answers that question. Next question from Jim in New York. I enjoy watching all your videos. Keep up the great work. I did a little research and found out that Lexus Toyota engines are port and direct injected, and Acura Honda are direct injected only. Between both, please explain, and also which is the better engine. Okay, interesting question. Now, generally speaking, having an engine that's both direct and port injection is safer because it's less likely to have carbon buildup problems down the road, as opposed to a direct injection engine, which can possibly experience carbon buildup problems. Now, that does not automatically mean that all direct injection engines have this issue, because they definitely don't. You need to do research on the particular vehicle that you want to buy and see whether it's an issue, because there are many direct injection engines that are perfectly fine and don't have any issues whatsoever. In the case of Honda, many of their engines are perfectly fine. Some of them can have problems, such as the 1.5 turbo engine, but for the most part, you are safe. If you want to be on the safer side, however, Toyota, having both direct and port injection, will eliminate that carbon issue and you'll be perfectly fine. Hello, Car Help Corner. I really like to see your videos and it helped me make a decision on my car, which is a RAV4. I want to ask if the Lexus RX or Lexus NX is a great choice as an upgrade over the Toyota RAV4 in the future. Well, I would say that yes, it is a great upgrade because for the most part, the RAV4 and the Lexus NX and RX are mechanically very similar. They share many similar parts, especially the hybrid versions, and they all have great reputations for reliability and quality. The benefit of the Lexus is that they're going to be quieter, smoother, more comfortable to drive, and it's a significant upgrade in those areas. Also, of course, more luxurious, and you're going to have a really nice vehicle if you are looking for that upgrade. Another option I would throw in there to consider is the Toyota Crown Signia, which is basically a Lexus without the Lexus badge. It's a beautiful vehicle, very comfortable, excellent SUV if you want something that's more comfortable and just a lot nicer than the RAV4. Between those vehicles, you really can't go wrong. All are great choices. And a similar question up next. Love the channel. I'm 70 years old and looking to buy what will probably be my last car purchase. And so I'd like to buy something a bit more luxurious than the Accord I've been driving since 2013. I'm thinking of a Toyota Crown Signia or a Mazda CX-70, since both are built to a high standard in Japan. Do you have an opinion on which would be the better choice, or would you recommend a third option? I live in Texas, if that has any bearing on you. Well, between those two, I would go with the Toyota Crown Signia. I think it's an extremely well-rounded vehicle, very comfortable, very luxurious, quiet, smooth, comfortable ride. It has an excellent hybrid system that's very well sorted, very reliable, and you just can't go wrong choosing that vehicle. I think you'll be very happy with it. The CX-70 is a great SUV as well. It is larger, so I would really only buy that one if you absolutely need to have the extra space. Otherwise, I think the Crown Signia is the one to go for. But again, either way, both of these are highly recommended, well-designed SUVs, and I think you're going to be happy choosing either one. Okay, great question. Hello, Shari. I really like your videos. You provide very good information. Question for you. Do I need to rust-proof on my 2025 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid? In the dealership, some people told me it's not necessary because on a hybrid, the bottom of the car is fully covered. But the funny thing is that they are still trying to sell rust-proof as an add-on to your car. I would say that rust-proofing is a great idea and highly recommended, especially in certain regions. For those who live in the northern US and most of Canada, where salt and other de-icers are used on the roads, rust-proofing should be an absolute must, especially for a vehicle that is designed to last 10, 15 years or longer, such as the Toyota RAV4. You definitely want to protect it from rust because that will become a problem eventually with time. And as for which rust-proofing to get, I would not get the dealership rust-proofing. They tend to be very expensive, often overpriced, and some of their rust protection products don't even work. So my go-to recommendation for rust protection is to use an oil spray rust protection. I recommend using Crown Rust Control. They've been around for over 35, 40 years. Very well proven product. It's not expensive, and if you have the car sprayed every so often, you'll never have any rust issues, and it's not going to affect the warranty at all, despite what the dealership might tell you. I'm going to have a more comprehensive video all about rust protection coming out very soon on the channel. I think it should be out within the next week or two, so definitely watch out for that. But great question. Hi there, love your channel. I want to get your thoughts on buying a vehicle that is no longer in production. I've always loved the Infiniti Q60, which was discontinued in 2022, but I worry about getting replacement parts in the future. What are your thoughts? Excellent question. Now, in general, I would not be too concerned buying a vehicle that is no longer in production, provided that it's a vehicle that shares its parts with other vehicles that are still being made. For example, Toyota no longer makes the Toyota Venza. However, it's still a great SUV to buy because it basically shares all the same parts with the Toyota RAV4. So parts are not going to be an issue. And that's the same case with the Q60, which shares all the same parts with the Infiniti Q50 and other Infiniti and Nissan models. So parts will not be an issue. And the fact that the vehicle is discontinued, hey, that might let you negotiate a much better deal. So use that to your advantage, and I would not be too worried in this case. And for the next question, thank you for the great reviews. As we are hit by these tariffs, I am sure it will cut deeper in our pockets too. So is it advisable to look at a 2 to 3 year old hybrid model rather than a 2025? Well, if tariffs are going to lead to higher car prices, which they very well may, it depends how things go, it's not just new cars that are going to see price increases. Typically, when you have a huge increase in the prices of new cars, that also translate to increased prices of used cars. That was the case during the pandemic in the early days of COVID when there was a car shortage. New car prices went up and used car prices went up as a result. So the two are really tied together. And in the case of hybrids, typically it's very tough to find a really good deal on a 2 to 3 year old hybrid or hybrid SUV. They tend to have very high resale value because they are high demand, desirable vehicles. So I would still lean towards buying one brand new because it's most likely going to be a better value, a better buy for your money. So that's what I would do in that case. Looking at an EV SUV for long-term ownership, what is your recommendation for the best option that is not the Model Y for your Canadian viewers? Okay, best EV SUV that's not the Model Y. Well, my personal favorites are the Ford Mustang Mach-E. I think that's a fantastic electric vehicle, very well designed, it's great to drive, has great tech, and you can get a phenomenal deal on it. They have excellent incentives at the moment, especially if you're buying a leftover 2024 model. So I think it's a very good buy at the moment, and it's an excellent overall vehicle. Another EV that I really like, the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Excellent, well-designed vehicle, very nice to drive, great technology, and again, you can find some very good deals on them. One more I'll throw in there, the Nissan Ariya, another great electric SUV, and again, fantastic incentives and deals available. So between those three, I think you have some really good options there. All are great vehicles to go for. Hi Shari, I live in Manitoba and I have a 2022 Tacoma TRD off-road. I'm nearing the end of the lease and I'm contemplating buying a GMC Canyon. What are your thoughts on the third gen Canyons? Well, I would say keep your Tacoma, buy it out at the end of the lease because that's a fantastic truck, one of the best trucks ever made from a reliability standpoint. It can last forever if you maintain it well. So if that's your priority, I would keep the Tacoma. The benefit of the Canyon is that it is going to feel more modern, more comfortable. It has newer, better tech and a more powerful engine. So that would be the benefit. The trade-off is the reliability and the quality is most likely not going to be as good. It's an average vehicle at best. So you have to decide what's your priority, what's more important to you. Do you want the longevity and having a problem-free truck that's a safer bet, or would you rather trade that off for having a more comfortable, more powerful, more modern truck? That decision is really up to you. And by the way, I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of Manitoba. I have family there. I've been there many times before, and I'm a huge fan of the Premier Wob Canoe. If you guys don't know who that is, definitely look him up. He's a fantastic politician, very appealing, very cool guy, and I hope he runs for Prime Minister one day because I think he would be a really good fit for the country. I'm a huge Wob Canoe fan. Just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, next question. And for our next question, hey Shari, I decided to keep my Civic for the duration or 250,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. It needs paint. After 5 years, would you paint my gunmetal gray Honda that Mazda Ruby Red, or would you wrap it vinyl? Okay, well, I can't blame you for wanting to do that. The Mazda Ruby Red, or Soul Red Metallic as it's called, is a beautiful color, very desirable. I would never paint a car, however. It's never a good idea. It's very expensive. To do it right, you have to spend an absolute fortune. Otherwise, it's just not going to turn out right. And it's frankly just not worth it. So if you really want to do a color change, whether it's a newer car or an older car, vinyl wrap is definitely the way to go. There's many options. They look a lot better and they're a lot cheaper. So if you really have to do it, wrap is the way I would go. And for the next question, thank you Shari for your videos. I am buying my last car. I'm considering the Macan S. In your opinion, is this a reliable car? Okay, well, I am a huge fan of the Porsche Macan. I think it's a very well-designed SUV. It's well made, It drives incredibly well, excellent handling, excellent performance, very luxurious. You definitely feel you're getting your money's worth with the Macan. And hey, if you're buying your last car and you want something nice to drive, why not? It's a great choice if you want to have a nice small SUV. And frankly, as far as the German or European luxury SUVs go, I would say it's one of the better ones out there from a quality standpoint. Keep in mind, repairs and maintenance are going to be expensive. It is a Porsche, that's what they're known for. So if you don't mind spending a little bit more money when it comes to the maintenance and out of warranty repairs, be prepared for that. Otherwise, you are getting a really nice SUV, and for the most part, it's a great choice. So I would go for it. And finally, what is your number one choice for 2025 compact SUV non-hybrid? Okay, short answer, my number one compact non-hybrid SUV, Mazda CX-5, Mazda CX-50, CX-30, Mazda. I think they make the best non-hybrid vehicles. They have excellent drivetrains, very reliable, well made. They're beautifully designed cars, beautiful, nice, high quality interiors. They drive great. They're just well-rounded vehicles. I mean, if you want a no-nonsense, well-designed, no-brainer SUV and you just don't want to buy a hybrid, I would get a Mazda CX-5. I think that's one of the best options out there. So hopefully that answers that. And thanks everybody for the great questions. And again, if you want to have your car question answered in a future Q&A video, just leave your questions down below. I'll try to answer them next time. And I'll try to make these videos on a more regular basis. I'm aiming to post them at the end of each month. And if you really like these Q&As, hey, I'll try to make it a more regular thing and put it in regular, maybe weekly circulation down the road. We'll have to wait and see. So thank you so much for watching. If you got value out of this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you are planning to buy a car and you live in Ontario, know that OMVIC is the vehicle sales regulator that administers and enforces the rules that dealerships must follow. You can learn more about your consumer protection rights by visiting omvic.ca. And if you are planning to purchase a vehicle and you need any advice, recommendations, or are looking to get a really good deal, make sure to visit carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.